Well, my name is James Watson. I am a family doctor. That's what my residency was in. Went to school here in Philadelphia, went to the school, Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine. We're DOs, which is a little different than what MDs are as far as our training. From a practical standpoint, there's really no difference. I guess if you had to sum it up, you would think that osteopaths probably do more of a holistic approach to medication and medicine in general. We get training in doing things like manipulation, similar to what chiropractors do, but we also do pretty much every specialty there is, including manipulation, which is not often done by MDs. I chose to do family medicine. Currently, my practice is doing more of a holistic approach. We do a lot of focusing on weight management and overall wellness in my practice. And I guess the transition from generalized family medicine into that was pretty natural. I started off doing blood pressures, diabetes, taking care of sick visits and wellness and the works. What I found is that most of the conditions that I'm treating adults for, the chronic conditions that a lot of women come into my office were suffering from, whether it be diabetes or blood pressure, or as they get older, heart disease, had something common within them. As far as the treatment was concerned, we would start them on their general medications for whichever ailment they had, but the recommendation that most people get from their doctor is to diet and exercise. Lose some weight, this might all be a little better. Lose weight, you may not have to take medication. Which was interesting that you tell patients that with the general expectation that none of them are going to do it. I think one time that actually changed my practice for the better, I would like to think, is I had a young lady who said she was committed to trying to lose weight, and I said, great. Of course, she comes back and she didn't lose weight, and she said, I'm trying, but I don't seem to be able to do it. And as a physician, sometimes you get frustrated and you say, well, I don't know how you're trying if you're gaining weight. And she basically said to me one question that kind of shaped and changed where I am. She said, well, how do I do it? And I was like, well, I don't know, because in medicine, we are told to have people to lose weight, but we don't really get instructions on how. There's no course or class we take to tell people how to eat right, what to eat, and how to exercise, when to exercise, and so forth. And that really started me on the journey that brought me to where I am today as a physician who also focuses on weight management. I actually sat down, started doing my own research, started looking into how to do it, because I thought it was unfair that I'm asking patients, and this young lady in particular, to lose weight, but I gave her absolutely no instructions on what to do and how to do. I think that was very paramount in getting me to where I am today, because there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of understanding, education that I had to do as a physician to even be able to truly advise people on what to do to lose weight. And it's all kind of an independent thing. You can start reading articles and journals, but you got to gather that information, put it through practice, allow patients to see what works and what doesn't work. Why women come to me to lose weight, and what is the importance of weight loss for women as well as for all individuals. It starts off pretty much the same. Most people come to my office saying they want to lose weight for health reasons. As I said before, I got into this because I wanted people to improve on their diabetes or their blood pressure or their cholesterol condition, heart disease, and for overall general health. Of course, that's what a lot of people walk in saying, that they want to get their health improved. There's definitely probably far more important, or probably more emphasized, even though not said, an aesthetic approach to it. People want to look good. That's just who we are. That's what this society is about. So fortunately for me, I can utilize that desire to look good to also get them in good health, because when you're doing one, you're actually doing the other. If you are losing weight, extra weight that you have on your body that's promoting the diabetes, promoting the high blood pressure, and all these other things, as you start to lose it to look good, you will also improve on those conditions and all. My primary goal is for their overall general health as a physician, even if their primary goal might be to get into a smaller size dress to look good for a reunion or whatever it is. Like I said, it's a win-win situation, and often you need both of those motivational factors, trying to look good and be healthier to improve your overall quality of life to get you to that goal. women have additional tasks because they're usually the homemakers. They're going to have a little bit more difficult problem in being able to count their calories, being able to monitor, because if you're cooking for a large family, most people who cook have to taste, they have to eat, they have to sample what they're going to do. And it's interesting that when you start thinking about when someone prepares a plate of food, they generally prepare the same plate for everybody. So 1 piece of chicken, this much corn, this much potatoes, that's plate 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if they're feeding a family of 4, when they sit down at the table, there's usually the same types of portions on everyone's plate, unless they're talking about real little kids, and then there's a small plate for the kids and then a big one for the adults. What you have to understand when you're trying to maintain weight is you are an individual. Your body requires what your body needs. So if your plate looks like your husband's plate, he might not gain weight, but you will, because you could be eating twice as many calories as your body needs. What we do, what I focus on, is trying to identify exactly the amount of calories and nutrients you need on a daily basis, so you can start to make sure that you're not overeating because you just don't understand. And that's generally what happens in most cases. People don't understand, first off, how many calories they're eating. It's always underestimated. When we do counts, they're usually off by 1,000 or sometimes 2,000 calories. They negate things like their beverages, they negate things like their snacks or their chips. They negate things like what they drink, and these are not things that you're normally counting. The second thing is that, again, everyone has the same size plate. So we do a lot of body composition analysis to kind of say that you only need 1,700 calories a day to survive. Now we see that you're eating 2,500 calories a day. This will go a long way to explaining why you are gaining weight. And to reverse that, we try to, again, look at those same numbers and try to get you to do things in the opposite. I'm not a physician who focuses a whole lot on what someone says is healthy or not healthy, organic or inorganic. I really allow you to make those choices yourself. But what I will tell you is how much you need and how much you don't need. Now, it's your choice. If you choose to want to have something that's a high calorie food, you're going to have to eat a whole lot less of that as opposed to something that may not be. However, I think it's important when you're talking about changing someone's lifestyle that it has to still be their lifestyle. I can put you on a diet that's bland and has no flavor, but most people aren't going to maintain that. They're going to look for things they want. So it's really about educating how much you need and then allowing you, the individual, to decide how to go about getting those things. It's more like an allowance, so to speak. And you can modify your exercise routine to augment that. If you want a little bit more, you might have to get on your treadmill and do a little bit more. But managing weight is just that. It's a learned behavior. It's not something that's natural. You have to identify what you need, and then what your particular wants and likes are have to be incorporated in that. So hopefully you're able to find things that you enjoy eating, and you're eating them in the proper proportions, that you're not necessarily gaining weight. Or if you're at a point where you're balancing your weight, you should know that too. You need to know how to lose weight. You need to know how to maintain weight. We all know how to gain weight, so that's not very difficult. I guess what we do is we go through and we kind of let you know how you gain weight, why you gain weight. We definitely talk more about the body composition. We talk about the different things that you may or may not be aware of that may be contributing to weight loss. And then I take a very practical approach. My first goal, again, is your overall health. Do you have any kind of comorbid conditions? Are you a diabetic? Are you hypertensive? Because if you are, I may have to be a little more aggressive in trying to get you to your goal. But we can take any approach the patient likes. I often tell them, you don't need to hurry up and get there. You didn't gain it all in one day. You shouldn't try to lose it all in one day. So a slow and steady approach is probably best, because in that way, you will be making lifestyle changes as you're doing it, as opposed to some of the other options we have where somebody might want to drop a large chunk of weight and I might put them on one of the diet plans that we do to help that. Those things are just to facilitate or expedite the weight loss. We then have to go back and reinforce again lifestyle changes, because it's easy to lose weight. We just get you to eat less. But it's difficult to maintain weight. So education is always the foundation. There are still people who believe if they drop 40 pounds, it'll just stay off. They can go back to their life as it was. And that's not realistic, and it doesn't make sense when people think about it, but that's still a common belief. I look at what that particular young lady decides she wants, because again, I'm not living my life, they're living their life. And if their health is otherwise fine, there's nothing that says you should be a size 4 or size 6. If you're already in good health, you're not suffering from comorbid conditions, you don't have other ailments that are associated with weight loss, then it's your choice as to whether you want to be in a size 2 dress or a size 10 dress. What you find is that if they do embrace lifestyle changes, it kind of continues to grow and develop on its own. They might originally have modest goals of losing 10 or 15 pounds. That might change, and once they get to that 10 or 15, they notice, oh, no, I like where this direction is going, and I actually think I want to do this. I think that when patients start to lose weight, it allows them to be more active, and once that starts to catch on, it's kind of like a snowball effect, you understand? I mean, you'll start to say, oh no, I don't want to stop where I'm at. I'm not content at this point. People are fearful. If you have someone who's 100 pounds overweight, they might think they will look funny if they lose that 100 pounds. Until they start getting closer and closer to that goal, and they realize I don't look funny at all. I look pretty good as far as I'm concerned, and I want to keep going. But at the end of the day, if I'm trying to get a person to manage their weight, I want to teach them how not only to maintain it, but how to lose it. And I want to get them to do that without having to take anything in addition, no pills, no diets. All of this can be done with just a simple diet and exercise without all the fancy supplements and things that you might see on TV that usually don't do a whole lot anyway. Diet and exercise is probably 99% of what weight loss is, and getting patients to accept that is my biggest challenge.